I'm making this video because I feel like if I get played one more time, I just might actually crash out. Like, I might actually lose my fucking shit. Like, I might actually hurt somebody. So, whatever I say in this video, please take it with a grain of salt. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But for those who are actually curious or wanting to improve their dating skills, listen up. Like the video, subscribe. Do y'all like to hear? Y'all like to hear? I like to hear. Look cute. Like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts or your dating experiences. And yeah, I'll see y'all later. Mwah. Hey marshmallows, welcome back to another video. Today is going to be dating tips. Yes, y'all, dating tips. Y'all want to know how I be having these men wrapped around my finger, bitch? And listen, okay? Listen up, listen up. I'm gonna drop some gems for y'all, okay? But first of all, I cannot help the fact that I look like a BTS member right now. It's not my fault. I didn't think, what the fuck? I didn't think the style was gonna turn out like this. So unfortunately, just bear with me, okay? Like, we're gonna make this shit look cute. I don't know why the fuck it looks like I'm a golden girl right now, but I'm trying something new. Anyways, what really made me wanted to do this video is my mom was watching Twilight Zone, right? Y'all know that movie where the girl is choosing between the vampire and the werewolf. Basically, I was watching that shit with her and I'm just like, oh my gosh, you know the girl that stars in that movie? I was like, it's giving Desperado. Like, I can't watch this Desperado ass shit. I literally had to walk away from the movie like while my mom was watching it because I was like, this fucking sucks. Like, and it made me realize, hold on, I have a couple people that watch me that probably need dating tips or dating advice. And as you guys know, I love dating. Now, specifically, this video is for my people that are casually dating, okay? My people that casually date. This is for you. If you are looking for like marriage and shit like that, take this advice with a grain of salt, okay? This may not work for everybody. Also, keep in mind, I'm coming from the perspective of a heterosexual girl that dates mostly men. So again, this may not apply for everybody. So if it doesn't apply, let it fly. I'm a psychic. Okay, get your personal reading down below. Join the Patreon and join my Discord. All right. So first dating tip. First things first. Okay, so my number one dating tip, right? And this is in no correct order. Do not force the connection. Okay, let the conversation flow naturally while also allowing your partner to actively play or to equally contribute to the conversation. Okay, so one thing I used to do, a mistake I made while casually dating, was I used to carry the conversation a lot, right? To the point where I'd be the one asking most of the questions, I'd be the one talking for the most part, and the other partner wouldn't be talking at all, right? And it's not because I talk too much or anything. What, y'all know I have a big mouth, like I can't help that shit. But it's not necessarily because I have a big mouth or this, that, and the third. It was more so because the other person simply just wasn't contributing, right? And you know, when you're talking to somebody and you guys fall into that awkward silence, I constantly felt the need to fill in that awkward silence, right? So inevitably, I ended up basically working overtime to communicate with a lot of guys because I ended up picking up the pace, right? I picked up where they slacked off, and that is what I don't want you guys to do, right? For all my girlies and even my guys that are watching this, do not pick up the slack. If you are talking to somebody and they don't seem engaged, if you're talking to somebody and they're not contributing to the conversation as much as you are, that is your number one sign to dip out. Okay, take that as a sign. Maybe they're not in the mood, maybe there's something going on, or maybe they're simply just not interested, right? So not do not force the conversation. Do not force the connection. If there's a connection there, great. And if there's not, that's also great. You need to know when to walk away. Okay, so that is my number one tip. Okay, you guys, do not force a connection. Don't carry the conversation like how I used to. Tip number two, never divulge too much information on the first date or conversation. You want to maintain mystique. Okay, you want to maintain an air of mystery to maintain interest, right? So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let me give y'all a scenario. Say you're talking to a guy, you met him like 2 days ago, and on the second day, he's already telling you about how his dad used to beat his ass and his mother used to deprive him of food. Now, obviously, you're gonna feel bad for the guy, but you're also gonna sit back and question, like, wait a minute, why are you telling me this shit so early on? Like, Honestly, if I'm talking to somebody and they're already divulging like their childhood traumas within the first or second date, I'm going to give them the major side eye. I'm going to think something's very fucking wrong with you. All right. You never want to tell too much information. Now, obviously, I don't mean like, I'm not saying you can't share anything. Like, definitely share lighthearted things, surface level things, but you want to make sure before you divulge that information, you are speaking with the right person, right? So make sure you're vetting people correctly before you decide to spill out your childhood traumas, okay? Don't say I didn't tell you so, all right? I used to do that a lot. Again, I'm a very open book and I'm a free spirited person. So I used to tell guys like everything, anything they wanted to know, and even things they didn't want to know, I told them. And I realized every relationship where I revealed too much information in the beginning has never worked out. So take it from me, you guys. Save the trauma, save the, oh, my ex did me this way, my ex did me that way. Save that for like a few months down the line. You don't want to share that shit immediately off rip. Third tip is listen to what they say and what they don't say, okay? Don't treat the conversation like an interview because that's something I used to do. That was a mistake I made in the past. I treated the shit like an interview. Now, obviously, I told you guys to ask questions before. This is going to sound a little bit hypocritical because I say ask questions, but I'm realizing now that it's more better to just listen, right? Especially when you're dealing with men. Men reveal a lot of things. You just have to let them talk and you have to listen, right? So that's number three, actively listen. And active listening is really paying attention and being consciously aware of what your partner is saying and what they're not saying, right? So for example, say you ask a guy, when was your last relationship? And he tells you, oh, I haven't been in a relationship in like 5 years. Usually my relationship lasts like 3 months. So, okay, basically what you're telling me, what you're saying and what you're not saying is you're not accustomed to long-term relationships. You're not very good with commitment because you can only deal with relationships for 3 months. You understand what I'm saying? So really just actively listen and pay attention. Don't treat it like an interview. Don't bombard them with questions because you could potentially scare somebody away with all them damn questions. Okay, I learned the hard way. You can scare people away asking too many questions. So make sure you're listening. That's important. All right. Especially you're giving your full attention, you're giving your full awareness to that person in that moment in time. It's going to make them feel very appreciated. And for the love of God, learn how to have good banter. Okay? When I say banter, I mean learn how to have a good back and forth conversation, right? For example, me, I'm a Gemini and I'm a Gemini Venus. So naturally, I'm very witty. I'm quick witted. I'm quick on my toes. I can easily think of a comeback. Like, say I'm going back and forth playfully with somebody, I can playfully give a comeback, right? So you want to learn how to have good banter and how to have a good conversation flow, right? Learn when to speak and when to draw back, right? Because again, the mistake I made, I talked too much. I talked way too much. And sometimes it would scare people off. Sometimes it just came off the wrong way. I wasn't allowing my partner to really express themselves a lot, right? So learn when to communicate, learn when to speak, and learn when to draw back. Okay. And let the other person contribute to the conversation, right? It ties in with like the other points I made. Number whatever the fuck we're on, you must have confidence. I cannot explain this enough. You should not really be dating if you are insecure, if you think that nobody will love you, if you think that whatever the case may be, you want to make sure that you are confident within yourself, your looks, and your abilities. All right. Do not go dating if you are insecure, because there are predatory people out there who prey on those insecurities and you will get heartbroken. Okay, so take it from me, right? Y'all remember when that boy cheated on me with my cousin? Yeah, I was very insecure and desperate at that time. So you want to make sure that you are not coming from a desperado ass place. Okay, you want to make sure you're not being like the girl from Twilight. You want to make sure that you are confident within yourself and you know your self-worth and your value, so you're not settling for less. For my ladies, okay? I'm also reading from a list right now. For my ladies, lean into your dark feminine. This is for the ladies that do. Look, if you're one of those people that are like, oh, love is love and it shouldn't be so many rules and so much thinking when it comes to love, just let it flow. You know what? I love that for you. You're brave, you're carefree, you don't give a fuck. I love that for you. But for the girlies that are trying to improve, for the girlies that are trying to get the best partner for themselves out there, listen to this advice, okay? Reserve your emotions. That is the number one tip into leaning to your dark feminine, right? You cannot be fantasizing about men you met 2 days ago or men you met a week ago. Allow these men to prove themselves. And until they have proved themselves, reserve your emotions. Don't start thinking about, oh, because I know how. Listen, I'm like that way sometimes too. Sometimes I even have to check myself, right? You meet a guy and already you're thinking about what kids y'all are gonna have, what house y'all are gonna buy, when y'all gonna get married, da da da. Da. You want to reserve that part of you. You want to make the guy earn that. He hasn't, if he has done nothing to earn you daydreaming about wife and kids and all of that, reserve those emotions. Okay? Check yourself. Let him work for that. All right? Don't say I didn't tell you so. But yeah, this ties into the other thing I just said. Don't fantasize too early on. Make sure that you're falling in love with the person in front of you and you're not falling in love with the fantasy or you're not falling in love with the idea of the person, okay? Next thing is don't give too many compliments, okay? Again, this is more so leaning into the dark feminine energy. I don't compliment the guys I talk to too often. Of course, you know, you got to give a little bit of reassurance because at the end of the day, you want to let them know that you're interested in some way, shape, or form. So don't be toxic and withhold so much information or what the fuck, or withhold so much like energy. Just make sure that you're prioritizing yourself at the end of the day, right? But yeah, I don't give too many compliments, okay? Like even if I think a guy, say for example, a guy comes and he hits me with a very witty, clever line, I'm not gonna tell him like, oh my gosh, that was so witty, that was so clever. Like I'm gonna be like, okay, like, you know, I like that you said that. Not too much, but just a little bit. Okay, breadcrumb. Okay. For all my ladies out there, find clothes that make you look confident, all right? Find you a dress, a certain style of clothing that makes you feel like the baddest bitch in the room, okay? Because again, self confidence at the end of the day is the biggest thing when it comes to dating. Because even if, and I have a theory, you could be a 0 out of 10 due to society standards, not me. I feel like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You can be a 0 out of 10 to society standards, but if you have the energy of a 10 out of 10, can't nobody tell me shit, I'm the baddest bitch, then you are that bitch. You automatically become a 10 out of 10, or at the very least, you become a 9 or an 8 out of 10 because of the energy you carry. So you want to make sure that at all times, or most of the time, right? Because we're all human, you are maintaining that air of confidence, okay, and authority. It's cold as fuck, so I'm about to wrap this shit up. Anyways, so this ties into what I said about withholding your emotions. Learn emotional detachment, okay? Learn how to detach when it comes to people and romantic interests, okay? Um, and this also ties into what I just said. Get a life, okay? And I'm not saying this in a rude, snarky way, but when I say get a life, get a hobby, find something to distract yourself with besides love. If love is the one thing you're focusing on, it's going to bring you down. It is going to tear you down. It's going to rip you to shreds. You want to make sure that you have a life. You have things to do besides talking to that person, right? Because if not, you're constantly going to be thinking about them to the point where it's almost unhealthy, right? You're constantly thinking, oh, when are they going to text me back? Why aren't they texting me back? Are they cheating? Are they talking to other girls? No, bitch. You want to get a life. Do your hair, do your nails, go shopping, hang out with your friends, go painting, binge watch a Netflix series. Get your own life so you're not constantly obsessing over this person or the connection. And see people for who they are, okay? Not who you want them to be. See them for how they present themselves, okay? Like I said, read in between the lines, listen to what they say and what they don't say. Yeah, actively listening. And also the number one tip, biggest tip I can give you when it comes to dating, learn how to adapt to whatever personality you're dealing with in the moment, right? So for example, if I'm with somebody that's outgoing, that is very out there, they are a, what do you call it, a extrovert? If I'm with somebody that's very extroverted, I'm going to embrace my extrovertedness as well, right? I'm going to talk a lot. I'm going to be more engaging in the conversation. I'm going to be a little bit more blunt in your face. I'm going to be very energetic, right? Because that's the person's energy they're vibrating on. If I'm with somebody that's more withdrawn, more introverted, just very simple, hey, what's your favorite color? What do you like to eat? Da da da. I'm also going to match that energy, right? I'm going to pull my energy back. I'm going to be a little bit more reserved. I'm going to be a little bit more emotionally detached. And I'm just going to keep the conversation short and simple, short and sweet. So, yes, learning how to adapt to whatever personality you are dealing with. Big thing. Number whatever the fuck. Do not overthink. Okay? When you have a conversation or whatever, and you're done, the person goes their separate way, you go your separate way, y'all stop talking. You don't want to constantly think, "Oh my gosh, are they thinking about me? Did I say the right thing? Are they cheating? Are they talking to another girl?" You're going to stress your own self out with all that overthinking. I used to do it too. I used to do it too. Used to, not anymore. But don't overthink things. Let it flow. Let again, even though I know it sounds contradicting, even though I'm giving you guys all these tips, at the same time, you still want to enjoy yourself and you want to find a balance, okay? People don't understand the concept of nuance. There is a balance to all of this, okay? Obviously, you don't want to overdo it too much, right? Keep it short, keep it simple, keep it sweet. Make sure you're presenting yourself in the best way possible and go about your day, Don't constantly think, "Oh my gosh, did I say the right thing? Do they like me? Do they not like me?" You will know if somebody likes you or not. Let me say that to all my girlies, all my boys that are watching this. You will know. People make it clear when they like you or when they have an interest in you. All right. And last but not least, this is probably an underrated tip. Do not stop texting at night because only a couple things go down at night. Okay. And besides spiritual activity, y'all know what I'm talking about, the other type of activity. So you want to make sure that you're setting that boundary, right? Okay, boom, it's turning like 10, 11 o'clock. Good night. I got something to do. Like you're also letting that person. This is another tip as well, right? Last tip. Limit your availability. You don't want to make it seem like you're always available to talk for a conversation. You don't want to make it seem like you're just always ready because, again, it comes off as a little bit desperate and we don't want to give desperado energy. We want to make it seem like we have shit going on for ourselves, period. Even if you don't have nothing to do, okay? Even if you don't have anything to do, you want to make sure at the very least that you are limiting that communication just a little bit. All right. So yeah, stop texting at night because 9 times out of 10, when a man texts you at night, he wants one thing and one thing only. And we not giving that over here. Okay, not for free. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what y'all thought about my tips on dating and what y'all think about this hair. Like, I like it, but I'm like gonna fix it up in a little bit. I'm gonna fix it up tomorrow. It needs to be like thinned out a little bit. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts, questions, concerns down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Mwah.